we suffer from something called SAD, situational attention deficit disorder. Now, I hope you notice, by the way, the pronoun that I'm using is we. I do not come to you as a voice of wisdom today. I come to you as a fellow pilgrim on this journey that we call life. And sometimes I think I understand this well, and other times, quite frankly, I stink. And my husband says, Eileen, read your book. So as I'm talking out loud to you, I'm talking out loud to myself. And so when I think of this suffering, this ailment called SAD, I'm going to describe some of the symptoms. And so that I don't feel like I'm alone, if you experience these symptoms, would you please say, oh yeah, can you do it? Oh, yeah. All right, so here's some of the symptoms. You walk into a room, you stand there, and you think, I came in here for a reason. Good, got, all right, here's another one. You look down at your PDA, your day timer, wherever it is that you keep appointments, and it says, John Jones, 10 o'clock, and you're thinking, I have no clue who he is. All right, now here's one of my favorite ones. In your wonderful, proficient, productive best, you make a phone call. And while the phone is ringing, you decide you're also going to answer email. You're ahead of me. You're right. So that by the time the person on the phone says hello, you forgot who you called. Right? Your brain went out your nose. That's a pretty sight, isn't it? But you know what? This is multitasking at its absolute worst, and we do it all the time. The first research that was done on this actually came from the University of London, and they're continuing to track this, that when we try to multitask that way, particularly because you're asking your brain to do a bunch of different things. You got a visual component that's going here, you have the words that you're going to type here, then you also have the auditory side here. You lose as much temporarily as 10 points of IQ trying to do that. That is as much as if you had sat there and smoked a joint. So the next time you feel tempted to do this, just pretend, go, I'm not going to do this. I think resiliency is growing through adversity as well as opportunity so that you end up better on the other side. What will it take to be resilient if I'm going to be able to grow through? And I'll tell you what I think it's going to take, energy. At the end of the day, do you have the mental, emotional, physical hardiness that will create the energy that will allow you to grow through both adversity and challenge?
Now, Eileen, I read up a little bit about you. You're a public speaker, you're a business consultant. I'm curious, at what point, when were you walking in the woods when kind of the light bulb clicked and you said, hey, wait a second, it's all the same thing. Hiking, working, life, it's all the same thing.
Well, it actually clicked about 7 years ago when I was on a very difficult trek with my husband, and I either had to find meaning there or I was going to kill him. So that was the way it was. But, I just started to make some notes. And as I was making notes, I said, you know what, there is meaning here. Like pack out your garbage. Your prior guest talked about green. Well, you know what? We have garbage that we hang on to in relationships, in business. You know what? That's not only in the physical world, it's also in the emotional world. So I thought that there would be lessons that I could see the similarities. And you know what? It all goes together. This is one life that we've got. We need to blend it together beautifully.
First and foremost, you are a practice community family. How many of you are here for the first time? Wow, would you look at that. Practice community. Do you not know when you bring new people into the fold, they sit there and say, God, they speak a language I'm not sure I understand? Because practice communities have their own language. Upline, downline, you have all of these. When in network marketing, you've got a whole different language that you learn. And of course, as an Arbonne family, you have a whole different line of products. I mean, it is probably only few of the chosen who actually know that RE9 is not part of the tax code. That's only because you haven't gotten to them yet. And you have your rites of passage. I mean, you have your rites of passage with that wonderful white Mercedes, which frankly is a far classier color than pink.
And when I think about that notion of humor and creating a place of joy, kids also know when you are not having fun in what you are doing. I was sitting in the teacher's lounge. I use that word euphemistically. It meant that that was one of the only 2 rooms air conditioned in the school. And this teacher came in. Now, if I do a voice, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's just because I want you here with me. She came in and she sat down and she said, I want y'all to see what one of these little 3rd graders left on my desk at recess. And then she pulled out a piece of paper. And some of you all might remember that piece of paper. It was that one that had that funny texture to it, and it had the lines, and you would practice writing your script on it. Here in this childish 8-year-old script, it said, if you're happy, will you tell your face?
How many of you are sitting right now next to people that you already know pretty well? Can I see a show of hands? This is what I thought. See the blue shirts? The blue shirts are all together. So here's what, all right. Nothing wrong with blue shirts, but you know what? We're creating a practice community family. So here's what I want you to do. You have 30 seconds when I say go. I want you to get up and I want you to meet as many unused people. Those are used people back there. You see them all the time. I want you to meet as many people as you can. Just say, thanks for showing up, shake their hands. Thanks for showing up, shake their hands. And as you're doing it, I want you to mentally click off how many people you shook their hands and said, thanks for showing up. You ready? On your mark, get set, go. You got 30 seconds, go. Keep a count.
Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up.
Run, run, run. Keep a count. Run, run, run.
Thanks for showing up.
Run, run, run. Time's up. See, I can't jiggle like that. Keep my arms down. All right, now, I want to hear how many people. All right, so call out some numbers. How many people met? Give me some. You met 7? 43? You met 43? I didn't even know you could count that high. 43, did anybody meet more than 43 people? Who met a number closest to 43?
86.
How much?
86.
You met 86 people? You made it up. You're lying, aren't you? All right, 43. I'll take another number that's closest to 43. Come on. Come stand up here. Come on. Get up here. 43 people. Okay, give them a hand. Give them a hand. All right, if nobody wants to admit, I have a prize for you, Dave. Okay, do you all know Dave? I just met him. Give Dave a hand. All right, if he met 43 people, that means that he is one of the friendliest people going. So I decided he needed to be rewarded. So I actually found a little gift store here. You know those little rubber band things now that you can't figure out what kids want, but they cost a fortune? I have here, it's a rubber band like this. You've got horns, guitar, rocker, microphone, drum set, and rock the world. Every time you make a friend, since nobody fessed up, you got 2 of these things. Give them away. Give them a hand. Thank you very much.
Talk about passion for a minute. You've heard this word used a number of times while we're here today. And when we think about passion, what organ of the body do you think of? The heart. Here's the heart. This heart is an amazing pump. There are 60,000 miles of veins, capillaries, and arteries in our heart. 60,000 miles. That is 20 round trips across the United States. And one of the things that we're seeing in the research that we're knowing about the heart is that the heart has an extraordinary energy field. Do you know it is 5,000 times the energy field of the brain? 10 feet away, I can measure the energy of a heart. And when we think about being remarkable, when we think about getting people who will help us as mentors, people in a network, you know what they respond to? Heart energy. Have you ever gone into a room and the energy is negative? You can feel it? You go, whoa, something's happening here. Don't know what, but I'm backing out. Didn't come from the brain, came from the heart. It came from the heart. And the reason I think the heart is so important to us, we think with the heart. It is our intuition. And intuition is becoming more and more valuable in the marketplace.
I was facilitating a 2-day management retreat for the heads of global regulatory affairs for a worldwide pharmaceutical company. 18 people, 15 men, 3 women from around the globe. Holly doesn't have this baby, doesn't have the baby. We are now at day 2 of the conference, it's at the end. And Bill has called me in the morning to say they're going to induce labor. And at the end of that second day, I could look at these 18 men and women and I could say, you will remember this day because you have come so far in coalescing as a group. And they had. 18 sets of eyes from around the world looked at me and said, yeah, it's true. I said, yeah. Will you come to dinner? We go to dinner. What else am I going to do? We're sitting at dinner, the maitre d' calls and says, call for you. Yeah. Okay, Bill, what? Yeah. C-section. Oh, 10.5 pounds? A little girl, Alicia Lynn. I go back to that table and 18 sets of eyes say, yeah, so what? I said, well, it's a little, well, not so little girl, Alicia Lynn. 18 people from around the globe jumped on their feet, ordered the champagne, and said, to Alicia Lynn. And I cried big time. Now here's the correlation. 18 people from around the world stood and saluted a child whom they will never see. When you do the work that you do well in your communities for the children that we will never see, because you want to hand off to these students a profession that lasts for Alicia and Claire and Sienna and their children. You do that, and I guarantee you, doesn't matter what happens. You can take a licking, but you will always keep on ticking. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. To you.